actually in the screen?
Yep, you're right in the bullseye middle. And it's recording. I don't like it.
Why?
Because you're not smiling or anything.
Well, I'm not ready to shoot yet. FG fans, we're back here with a new project. This is going to be a portable battery box unit. Let me zoom in here a little bit, show you what's going on. So here's box 1. Over here, box 2. You can see I've got some templates already made. Let's see if I can give you a sweep overview here. We come around here. There we go. Okay, yep, you can see where the cutouts are going to go. We pan back over here. So here's some of the batteries. So what got this whole project started, this one, I got 3 of these GoldTops for free. Then I've got 2 more on order. I was able to pick them up for $15 each, and then I picked up one at a flea market for $10. And you can see this one has a day code of 2020, which isn't bad. These 2 back here are day coded 16, although I charged them and gave them a real nice load test, so everything's working quite well. And then I found this one at an estate sale. This is an APC battery. This one is actually 100% brand new. Had never been used. Still was wrapped in plastic and had some covering little protectors here on the terminals. So anyway, what's going to happen here, come around back here, and I'm going to pause the video for a second, and then I'm going to resume. Be right back. All right, so here we are unpaused. Zoom in, I'll show you. See this? Yeah, they really fit quite well. There's barely a little bit of space here, which I'm going to put some high-density foam to make sure these don't move around once they're complete. Come back over here. You can see there's an area over here where there's an empty space, which is perfect. You flip the lid down here, and this is how everything's going to lay out. And this is going to go right on there. Let me see if I can give you a better view. Yeah, because obviously it's going to get cut through the lid, of course. And over here, this is actually a voltmeter. Although it looks like a switch, it's really actually not. It's made to fit into a switch panel hole, so that's I think going to work out pretty nice. And then this Anderson connector here is going to go in the side and let me plug into the truck to recharge while I'm driving, or to plug in a higher amperage load. Since it's going to be hooked directly to the batteries, it'll work in both directions. So I got my Duracell over here, which I think you had picked up from an earlier video. And I come back over here, and let me just pan this real quick. Turn that around, give you an idea. This is how it's going to sit, like that. So you might be asking, why did I use 2 small boxes instead of 1 larger one? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Well, first of all, Amazon was having a flash sale, so I was able to get these boxes for $15 each. And the inside dimensions, as I just showed a minute ago with the batteries, worked out really, really well for sizing, for everything to lay in there. So yeah, it's a little bit of more work, and it might look maybe a little unusual to some people. It's probably not 100% my first desire, but I like how these fit in there. It'll keep the batteries from slamming around, and being that they will all be lined up right along here, and then you got this lid which just latches down, and there's a little location over here where a lock could be installed. I'm actually just going to put a small screw through there to make sure the lid doesn't pop open. I kind of like the idea of having the battery segregated, where there's not all 6 of the cells all together in one giant jumble. First of all, I kind of feel like they might, maybe beat each other up a little bit. Second of all, is that I kind of like the containment idea, where if something bad happens and one of these internally shorts or whatever, starts some kind of misbehaving, that it's not available in just one giant area where all of them could be affected. So yeah, it's going to complicate the build a little bit. And push that back over. I'm going to have to obviously run some kind of bars here to tie these two boxes together. And I've got these, which actually came with the box. And these are wire glands. So I'm going to just basically string a hookup cable from one to the other. And let me just turn this around real quick. So there's going to be one of these, which is a 12-volt power outlet, two USBs, and a power switch, which also contains a circuit breaker. And I'm going to be mounting one of those in each one of these boxes. And then the 50 amp Anderson connector has an access door that comes with it. So that's going to get mounted on the side, and this door can flip shut closed to protect it when it's not in use, or to keep water or any other debris from getting in there. And so that's going to be basically my portable battery unit. Obviously with the voltmeter here, I'll be able to keep track of what's happening with the cells. Yep, upside down, here we go. Keep track what's happening with the cells as they're running down. This is actually a dual. It's got two readouts, but if the main unit up here on the top, the first display, is not powered, it doesn't run at all, which is kind of interesting. I guess the circuitry is tied in only to that one for the power up on the display itself, but it will show in red LEDs the condition of both of those. So that's basically what's going on. So I just figured I'd make a intro video part here before everything was cut and fabricated, just to kind of show you how I was doing it. So I've got the tape here to protect from scratching, and also to make it easy to lay out my marks here for cutting. And then I just took a couple sheets of leftover paper, that just something that had flown out of the printer that I didn't need anymore, and just kind of the whole recycling idea. So when I'm using the jigsaw, when the foot of the jigsaw comes around here and rotates like this, when you're doing your cuts, that this other half of the lid doesn't get all chewed up. So that's pretty important if you're doing a project like this. If you want your complete assembly to look nice after you're done, you definitely need to protect your surface. So you can see here, this is just plastic. This is, I don't know, like some kind of an FRP composition, I think. I'd have to go back and look. But anyway, if you were running a saw willy-nilly across this, I'm thinking it would probably scratch up pretty easily. And, that's not going to look really as nice as you would probably want, unless it's just getting installed somewhere in an environment where it's going to get beat to death anyway, and you might not care really what it looks like. But I'm trying to keep it looking a little fancier. So I still haven't decided whether I'm going to paint these or not. I think I'm probably just going to leave them this flat finish gray that they came shipped with. And so go ahead and just proceed with that. But like I said, I got both of these boxes. These were $15 a piece. I got one battery for $10 and two more batteries for $15. So even with all these incidentals and some wire, this is something that I already had. This voltmeter I've been sitting on for a couple of years and finally found a use for it. This guy came with it. And then I had the Anderson connector, pick that up. All-in price is probably going to be somewhere around $100. And the total output will be 12 volts at 48 ampere hours, which is, I guess, probably about half the capacity of an automobile battery. And then you could probably say, well, why didn't you just buy an automobile battery? You might get near twice the capacity, and it would be probably pretty close to the same price. Well, first of all, try to find a battery these days for $100. They're pushing more like pretty close to $200, unless you find a really good bargain. Second of all, then what have you got? You've got a loose battery with terminals. Then you're going to have to do something with that. You're going to add switching and other items, and maybe put it in a battery box. So you got to figure out where to go from there. So I kind of like this idea. I'm going to see how it works out, but I think so far that I'm pretty happy on its progress. And when there's more to show and report here, I'll jump into the next part of the video. So a couple of seconds your time, and I'll be right back. All right, and a mid-build status update. As you can see, I've got the joiner side plates constructed. I made these out of some excess pine that I had laying around. Painted them black. Started fooling around with another color here on the top. Decided I wasn't going to keep them the standard, it's like a tannish gray, I suppose you could call that. The plastic bare as molded. So I had some leftover paint that was called Carbon Mist. So I just blew some on there just to see what it looked like, but I'm not real thrilled about it. It's a little darker than I wanted. I think I'm going to go for something more like a hammered type of gunmetal color. But anyway, you can see that the cutouts here for the power panel and for the voltmeter. And if I come around the side here, you can see where the 50 amp Anderson connector is going to sit with the lid. Put that right there. And just come around here to the side real quick. And there's the other side plate. And that's pretty much where we're at. I'll pick up the video here again after I get everything painted and assembled. See you soon. So we're almost to the end of the project here, and I don't know if when y'all are working on projects, if your stuff looks so clean that Johns Hopkins surgeons come by to ask for advice. But yeah, mine really never do. So there's stuff everywhere here. You could see here's rolled up primary wire, and there's the soldering iron, a measuring tape. Yeah, terminals, some solder. Everything's everywhere. Here's my terminal box. At least this is pretty nicely organized. And anyway, this is coming along pretty well. Let me zoom back. I found some really pretty paint. I really like how this came out over at Lowe's. And let me give you a quick look on the inside. Here's the batteries. And I had some foam left over, which the boss was going to throw away. And I said, no. We will probably find a use for that stuff. It's good. It's nicely rigid, but still has a little bit of cushioning ability. Just don't trash it. When it turned out, of course, I did need it. And here we go for why. All right, so pan over here. Down in there's my terminal strip. Got wires run through. There's a grommet that goes through here. Comes around behind the side plate and goes back into the other side. Let me see if I can pan the camera around without blocking it with my fingers. Here we go. And you can see that there isn't a whole lot going on in here yet, but it started. There's the 50 amp Anderson connector, the back of it. And let me see if I can pan up on here. Yep, here you go. And here's the back of the switch panel, and all that wiring's proceeding. And let me just pan around here real quick, get a look there. And there you are. And you can see that this is all in place now. Let me go ahead and flip these up. And so there's the reset switch, the 12 volt, and 2 USBs. And we're moving along here. Like I said, I think the paint came out great. I love this color. I'm very happy that I didn't just leave it the whatever that tone was that the ABS was molded in. So I think it's going to be really nice. Oh yeah, and one quick postscript here. I'm going to install some handles on the side of this thing. I was thinking about that, kicking it around, and after I got these 3 batteries in place, the other 3 aren't even in yet. And this thing is heavy. It's lead. So I am definitely going to put some handles on it. It's going to make it a whole lot easier to work with, because when this thing's full up with all its batteries, it's going to have some pretty good juice, but it is not going to be light. So that's where we're at. All right, so to wrap up, I'll be doing probably just a very short finished piece to this video whenever this is finally done, and I'll show you all the wiring. So until that time arrives, be a couple seconds your time. Till then, FG.